I paid attention to things like flocks, like birds. And if you ever read any of that stuff, you ever watch birds in the sky, they change direction, all of them at once. And I don't think it's them doing that. It's almost something has control over them.
Whoa.
And you watch pigeons go.
So what do you think's controlling them?
I think there are definitely other forces and energies around that a lot of us are no longer in tune with because we're always playing with our electronics. Like they say, for every convenience that you introduce to man, he loses something in nature. So it's like, give a man a wristwatch, he loses his ability to tell time of the position of the sun in the sky.
Oh,
because
shit.
why do I have to focus on that anymore? I got it right here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we lose stuff due to technology. We think we're gaining, but we're losing. Social media strikes me as that same force. That force that makes people go,
oh, shit.
You change a conversation with social media. You can have the whole world talking about the same thing for 3 days. And then, like, I had to remind you of some of those things that happened. The Tide Pod Challenge. That was big. How do we stop talking about that?
Yeah.
Because someone made everyone go, we're done with that. Whoa. Move on. Over here. Everyone, go this way.
We're rolling.
Okay, cool. Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for tuning into another episode of Raj Against the Machine. This week, we're back with actor, writer, producer, comedian Dave Temple, who, if you've been in the New York area, you've seen him a bunch of times at the Cellar. He's a regular at the Cellar, and he's got his podcast with Derek Gaines.
See that?
Apologize for not knowing the name.
No need for apologies with Gaines, and yeah, so we're so happy to have you here in the studio.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. So I know before we got started, you were telling me about some of the projects that you're working on, and you're currently working on a script for.
Yeah, man. I have been working on a script with a friend of mine. Right now, I guess a working title of it would be Ringleader. Right?
Ringleader.
Ringleader for me right now is a story based on the snatch and grab culture that started, I noticed, pick up during the pandemic.
And snatch and grab culture, for the people who don't know what that is.
Snatch and grab is when you see a bunch of teenagers storm a retail store, a Macy's. They run into a mall and they just fill their arms with as much merchandise as they can, and they all storm out. They all run out. And you see it happen everywhere during the pandemic. It was like after the George Floyd thing, people started breaking into stores and rioting. Okay, you know, that kind of behavior tends to happen around these events. But then it just kept going.
Right.
It kept
do you
going.
Think that's why, like, I think a lot of these CVS's and Dwayne Reeds and stuff, they shut down.
Yeah, so if you go to like a Target or a CVS now, especially here in the city, it's like a vending machine.
Yeah.
You got to push a button and stand and wait for somebody with a key to come and get that. And even then, you'll still see some people come in with blow torches and they'll melt the thing and run in there and still grab as much stuff as they can and fill their bags and run out. It has been a free-for-all. And one of the things that I noticed was the stores change that we were running into. And I say we, I'm not saying I do it, but I take accountability that it is mostly young black teenagers. I will take accountability there. However, when I saw the stores begin to change, when it was no longer Macy's, when it was no longer Foot Locker, when it was no longer CVS, when it became stores like Lululemon, when it became stores like Burberry,
right.
It was like, whoa, wait a minute. You know what I mean? They're 15. How do they know about that? You know what I mean? Like, that's not, and, you know, they know to get this stuff to resell it, that there's a market for it. I understand running into Macy's and grabbing a Nike tech suit and selling that in the hood because, as I was explaining to you, that is a cycle of things. There are boosters who have, you know, since the 80s and 90s will run into stores, grab their arms full of stuff and go trade it to their local drug dealer, either for drugs or for cash, you know what I mean? And if your stuff is fly enough and the right size, yeah, the drug dealer's gonna buy it because he don't have time to come off the corner to go down there and go shopping.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So this is the easy way. That was a cycle. People would do that. But what drug dealers you know standing on the corner wearing Lululemon?
Yeah.
Right. Lululemon is a white woman yoga pant. All right.
Yeah.
So who's the end user? That's a sales term right there. I get it. There's a reseller. These people are stealing for a reseller, but who's the end user? And the end user is still a white woman.
Right.
So I feel like someone's putting these kids up to
stealing
Lululemon. It's like, oh, if you're bold enough to run into a Foot Locker Would you also run into a Lululemon?
Yeah,
Would
'cause-
you also run into a Blue Mercury? Would you also run into a Sephora? You know what I mean? Would you run into these stores and get the things that other people are buying online for cheaper? The same way a drug dealer can buy it for cheaper.
Right. And it's almost like ingenious because like a Foot Locker or a Macy's, they're expecting it, right? So they amp up their security. A Lululemon and a Sephora, they're not expecting it. So it's
And the
probably
other thing,
easier to steal from.
those stores have a very specific no chase policy.
Oh.
You walk into those stores, there's no resistance.
It's also, there's like, what is it, like 1,000? You can't steal over, if you steal over 1,000, they can come after you.
Well,
or
here's what
something
I
like
thought
that.
about it in my script that I wrote and that I'm working out now is that it got to the point where the retail stores were actually hiring them and recruiting them.
What?
Because when you go to a store like Burberry right now during a pandemic, how many people can actually afford to buy a $3,000 windbreaker or a $290 T-shirt?
Right.
And that stuff, you know, these are pieces that, hey, once it's not sold through that season, we got to get rid of it and make room for something else. We can't just keep wholesaling this stuff to, you know, those outlets and stuff like that. It's better almost to have the store get robbed and file the insurance claim.
Oh, my
because all of the
gosh.
merchandise is
Right.
insured.
Yeah.
So what better way to do than to train your employees? Do not chase anybody when they come in. Let them do their thing. We have insurance. The insurance will pay for it.
Yeah.
And come on, when you're paying for insurance, you want nothing more than for them to earn their premium.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So it seems to me, and that's what I wrote. There was, I don't know if you heard about this, there was like a big case of a woman in Los Angeles. Her and her husband were actually recruiting kids
White woman.
to steal. Yes, it was a white woman, a white couple. And they had a huge home because they were drop shipping all of these stolen goods to their house and they were storing it in the basement and fulfilling these resale orders to the white market. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, you know, Lululemon, Alo, all of that stuff is extremely overpriced tights.
For sure.
$180, $190. Feel however you want to feel, but if you can get the same thing brand new with the tags on for $90,
yeah.
I'll give the $90 one a shot. I don't care where it comes from. You know what I mean? I want Lululemon and I don't feel like paying $200 for it.
Right.
I want Burberry, but I'm not paying $3,000 for it. You know?
Yeah, and then there still isn't a move for like ethical yoga pants, right? So-
Right. Right. And then, you know, at that point, I think for most people even involved in a crime like that, or at least the way I wrote it, you know, who's the victim? Like no one feels like they're the victim. Like even the
Yeah.
insurance company, you know, they're charging so much in premiums. That's what the contract says.
Right.
So if a store manager arranges a hit at his store because his numbers are low,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I don't want my store to get shut down. I don't want my employees to be out of a job. So hey, if we made the money, the store stays open. Everyone gets paid.
Yeah. It's like it's a victimless crime, almost like that guy that got fucked on the subway, the dead guy on the subway.
On the F train,
Yeah.
the guy that got choked to death.
No, the guy that there was a dead body on the subway and then some guy fucked it.
You missed that?
You
Yes,
missed that?
I did.
How'd you miss
That was a huge story.
Yes, I did. I am glad I missed that too.
That's why you're in Jersey. You're just like,
You know what? I'm also off the internet. Like I
Okay.
go on for like an hour a day. That's actually a thing that I have. I have a Patreon show that I do. It's called Suggested For You.
Okay.
I literally let people be my algorithm.
Nobody suggested this for you. That's,
I have not seen that one yet. No, but yeah. So if you guys are interested in making sure that I see that,
we'll send you the video.
yes, I'm Dave Temple on all social media platforms. You inbox me the stuff, I'll react to it on my Patreon episode. It's that simple.
Oh wow, yeah, that's crazy that one slipped right by.
How long ago was this?
This was
A
like
month ago?
Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
A
3 or
month
4
ago?
weeks ago.
Yeah, and see, that's why I'm not on there. That's not a healthy. That's not a healthy thing to wake up and deal with.
No, for
on a
sure.
Thursday morning, they go, I'm sorry, what?
But at least you get to wake up and deal with it.
Yeah, that guy, he was dealing with it while he was asleep.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that you're just in the afterlife and you're looking down and you're seeing what they're doing to your body?
Yeah,
on the
what
train,
does
and you're
this guy do?
Right, like I've been dead 13 minutes, bro. I had 13 minutes. Like,
He must have been waiting for her. He
Right.
must have really been waiting for this.
which that must be also like if reincarnation is real, I would definitely be telling God, no, I'm good. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back down there. Are you crazy?
Or I'd be like, let me go back as a guy who's fucking? I always want to know what that feels like.
Yeah, that's why I always say shout out to the hoes, shout out to the sex workers out there, because people are really that backed up.
Yeah,
you
they
do not
are.
understand. These women are heroes. They are saving lives, and they like because if a guy's that backed up, he's dangerous, man.
He's dangerous.
Yeah.
Go rub one out with the sex worker, and then come back to society as a normal person.
Or at least for a little while.
Yeah, yeah.
Until that itch begins to rear its ugly head again. My God.
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, right? Like all violence is stemmed with the lack of sex, right? Like fucking
believe so.
fanatics who blow up shit, right? They're promised 72 virgins in the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you get 72, or if you fuck somebody in this life, maybe you won't have to die to find out what it feels like.
Right, or at least understand a virgin is not what you want. You want a whore. You want a real whore, like a certified. You don't want anybody to know you have a whore.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? That's what you're into. You know, like we said it on the podcast a lot. I don't know. Are we allowed to swear on here?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. Big saying. Pussy is an integral part of this whole thing. We say that all the time.
100%.
Wars have been fought on it. It's the reason why men get up every day.
It's why I do this.
Right. It's the reason why we started showering, you know what I mean? Like anything. Otherwise, like you even see the people who grow up and they like never really get to scratch that itch of that interest. You know, that's a strange man that goes into his deep 20s without ever
Banging.
exploring sex or anything like that. You know, like they cope in mysterious ways, man.
Yeah, they don't. They shoot up the school, and they don't cope in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
They just they do some crazy shit.
Shoot, I remember once we saw this video. There was a woman somewhere in the UK. Her son was handicapped. He's, in a wheelchair and all this stuff like that. But once she began to realize, like, yo, he's got urges, she started taking him to prostitutes.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay, I was wondering where the story was going.
But she was paying prostitutes to be with her son, which is an interesting thing to get involved in as a mother-son relationship. But,
Right.
like, she realized, like, he needs help, man.
He needs help. He's got to get it out. This can completely transform you mentally if you don't get this out.
So, like, you ever see, like, an older couple
Yeah.
fight in the kitchen and
Oh yeah.
nipping at each other, and their grandbaby's in the other room. And the minute they come out, hey, baby, how you doing? That's psychotic. That's like you were just, and grandpa can't do that as easily. Grandpa's usually like, I'm not fucking finished talking.
Yeah.
Not in front of the kids. Hey, there was nothing. And it's like, she can switch just like that.
That is true.
Men have a bit more trouble calming down from the anger. They need to go slam a door, take a walk or something like that. Women need it too, but they're more capable of that quick switch.
The quick switch. And I know that as a kid, I would see like I would fuck around with my mom while she was out with some friends and stuff. And she'd give me the look like, fucking dude, but then turn right back to her friends like, hey, what's like, I'm like,
Absolutely. That's insane.
yeah, how do you do
Especially you think your friends didn't just see that. Like they totally saw you, you little shit. Like, and then hey guys. It's like,
he does this all the
no.
time.
We need to mind that. Do you need to leave? Do you need to finish something? Do you need to calm down? Do you need to take them up? No.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Wow.
But the whole time I'm just like, I'm dead.
Yeah. Right. And they hold the grudge. If you were going to get it when you get home, you're still going to get it.
Oh, you're still getting it.
3 hours.
Yeah.
You're still mad about that? You hugged everybody.
Yeah, you give me a kiss on the forehead in front of them.
Right. We took pictures together. I thought it was over.
Yeah, she's like, I didn't forget shit. You're
Right.
dead. Yeah, it's so true. Yeah. Sorry, were you going to say something?
I was not. I was just laughing.
Oh, you were laughing. Okay. Yeah. Well, but sorry. So this was a crazy transition from the snatch and grab thing.
Oh yeah, I told you. That's why he's like, "What do you want to talk about?" Trust me, we'll fill this.
We'll figure it out. But so, did you complete the script? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we completed 8 episodes. I am not a heavily represented person. Like I don't have a manager or an agent or anything like that. We started shopping it around to some people to see if they had any options or any interest in helping us figure out how to get this thing made. Nothing came back. So for me, I'm just going to keep going. So right now, the next step, I've actually been working with some people doing voiceovers. I've had some of my comedian friends that are willing to come and do this. And we recorded it as an audio play, and we're going to release the episodes as a podcast, 8 episodes of a podcast, and it's a full-on audio play.
Wow.
Sound effects, everything, dialogue.
Yeah,
You
that's
introduce the characters and everything like that. So in my story, we have to just give you the characters, Chelsea is our ringleader. Chelsea is a pretty privileged white girl. Her father is a cop, but high-ranking brass, okay?
Right.
Little dirty. So her morals and ethics are a little, you
Skewed.
grow up in a house like that,
Yeah.
you see some stuff get pushed under the way. They take care of you, they've always provided for you, but you're not slow. You understand, like, Dad gets stuff done.
Yeah.
We're doing pretty well.
I don't know
We're comfortable,
how,
but everything can't be on the up and up the way we're living, right?
Yeah.
She gets pregnant in college, wants to have the baby. Fine. The boy, they force kind of almost a shotgun married. You're going to get married and I'm going to get you a job on the force.
Okay.
So she's married. Her husband is a cop.
Okay.
She's bored. She's a privileged girl. She kind of begins to get bored with her day-to-day life of being a housewife of a cop and this daughter of a high rank, everything is taken care of for her.
Right.
So she spends her days kind of shopping, hanging out, BSing. The kids are at daycare. She's drinking wine in the middle of the day. And she happens to come across a snatch and grab. She's in the mall wandering, sees these people pulling off this act and excitement.
What?
Excitement.
Right.
And she asserts herself into it. But not only does she assert herself into it, she actually becomes the ringleader because she's a bit more elevated. Hey, I can show you guys where you don't have to just keep running in and out of stores in the mall. I can show you the more sophisticated way to do this. The stores where they don't care. They're not going to stop you. You know what I mean?
Just comes up
and
with
in the
strategy.
process, they get recruited to start doing this on a higher level. So right under her cop husband's nose, she is running a criminal organization off of her cell phone and hanging out with these black kids that she has decided to immerse herself into this world. And so it's that kind of thriller of, will she get caught? Will she not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like her dad's a cop, her father, so it's a wild story. I'll spoil this.
Okay.
And it's worth the spoil because
Sure.
I think this will make people want to watch it. They do get caught.
Oh, okay.
And our character, Chelsea, a white girl, because she begins to care for these black guys that she's hanging out with, she has to make a choice whether she's going to take responsibility for her actions because her testimony could let these guys go, but she will have to go to jail and she will embarrass her father and her husband.
Ooh.
What decision will she make?
That's a conflict there.
Yeah. So we had fun with it, man. It took me, I've been writing it for about 2 years now, but that seems to be, I think, is like the ongoing thing. I wrote a book before that called Influencer. It took me like 3 years.
Yeah, well, that's probably good, though. The fact that it's taken you a long time to complete these things, it means you're really doing your research, you're putting your heart and soul into it, and you're taking your time with it.
Oh my gosh, it's so draining. And here's the thing, I do everything by myself. Like the book, self-produced, put out, all that kind of stuff like that. If anybody's interested in that, that's on my, you can find that in all of my links, in my bios of any of my social media.
Sure.
That book is called Influencer. Also, you'll see a theme in the way I write. There is always an underlying conspiracy. So for me, Influencer is a book about social media. A girl who is struggling with popularity and being popular on social media. She kind of also spots a chink in the armor, for lack of a better term. I don't know if we can still say that anymore, but you know what I mean.
As long as you say in the armor after.
What she kind of notices is things that people are doing for attention seem a little weird. And this, again, was based off of real events. I remember watching Will Smith jump out of an airplane for likes and views.
Oh, yeah, I saw. Yeah, I remember
I
that.
said, what the hell is that? That's Mr. $20 million a movie. He needs likes and views. That's why. I remember Snoop Dogg first Trump election, literally doing a bit online where he goes, yo, if this video gets 2,000 likes in the next hour, I'm gonna go smoke a blunt on the White House lawn and say fuck Donald Trump. And you're like, I'm sorry, what? Snoop, do you need likes? What is going, like, where does that come from? You know what I mean? So the book that I wrote, Influencer, was that there was actually a secret society that was making influencers pop. And they do it because people watch the material over and over again and they begin to soak it up and behave the same way. So it was an interesting way to dumb down the population and control them. But it's not an accident when you see people throwing boiling water on each other as a challenge. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's like, oh, you're trying to hurt people on purpose, but they did it to themselves because my favorite celebrity told me to do it.
Yeah, it's like almost like the Tide Pod challenge. Remember that shit?
Tide Pod challenge is a part of that story. Yes, that people were dying eating Tide Pods because someone told them to do that.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. That's super interesting. I actually
Is that why you stay off of the internet?
Yeah, man. Like
It was the Tide Pod challenge.
the internet is it is pretty scary. It is because it's
Especially now with like AI, it's just like
I mean, talking about an act of manipulation.
yeah.
Right? The
Just
Instagram, TikTok, it's just the second you put it on, it changes who you are for the rest of the day.
Exactly. And see, like, I'm a big nature guy. I'm a big weed guy too. So that's one thing I miss about Brooklyn. I used to sit in the park and smoke and just watch nature, right?
Can't do that in Jersey?
Yes, but I don't have a forest to go into. I don't have a car. But I paid attention to things like flocks, like birds. And if you ever read any of that stuff, if you ever watch birds in the sky, they change direction, all of them at once. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's them doing that. It's almost something has control over them.
Whoa.
You watch pigeons go.
So what do you think's controlling them?
I think there are definitely other forces and energies around that a lot of us are no longer in tune with because we're always playing with our electronics. Like they say, for every convenience that you introduce to man, he loses something in nature. So it's like, give a man a wristwatch, he loses his ability to tell time of the position of the sun in the sky.
Oh,
because
shit.
why do I have to focus on that anymore? I got it right here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we lose stuff due to technology. We think we're gaining, but we're losing. Mm-hmm. Social media strikes me as that same force. That force that makes people go,
oh, shit.
You change a conversation with social media. You can have the whole world talking about the same thing for 3 days. And then, like, I had to remind you of some of those things that happened. The Tide Pod challenge. That was big. How do we stop talking about that?
Yeah.
Because someone made everyone go, we're done with that. Whoa. Move on. Over here. Everyone. Go this way. Everyone. Like, you can program the mood. I always thought that the George Floyd thing was such a wild thing to watch. All of those tapes that we watch that make us mad. Mm-hmm. Why did you click on this?
Right.
If I send you a video, I mean, you will click on it, but that's a weird thing if I send you a video that goes, yo, you want to see this video that's 8 minutes and 45 seconds of some dude getting a knee on his neck until he dies? You'd be like, why the fuck did you send me that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we sent it to everybody.
And everybody watched?
Post a video on Instagram with a little bit of violence now. Uh-huh. You violated community guidelines. We're suspending your account for a day or two. Well, how come that flew?
Yeah.
Why did that act of violence get through?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, because
you can't post fight videos on TikTok.
Right, you can't. But where do we all see Diddy beat up Cassidy or Cassie
on TikTok,
social media?
Yeah.
Right. So how is it not allowed? You want us to see it. You want us to be mad. You want us to feel this way. That's why it gets pushed. Some people you don't even follow. Or you people who have nothing to do with that video, why are you sharing it? 50 Cent, why are you sharing this video? I like, you know what I mean? We don't question that at all. Where it's like 50 Cent, this has nothing to do with you. Right. Why are you sharing this?
Yeah.
Or some of the stuff that people who share everything on and then they have nothing to say. Mm-hmm. I thought it was wild that your boy Trump, I'm not saying your boy. I was gonna say. But I thought it was wild your boy Trump had nothing to say about the Mexican ship crashing into the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, nothing to say about the Mexican. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if he even did.
I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like that's a losing battle. Anything he says with the word Mexican in it, and he just starts any information on it. He just
right, but I don't follow the man. But if almost anything that he tweets gets to me,
right?
Isn't that wild? That's wild. Power. Yeah. Some people realize their power like that. Kanye has power like that. Mm-hmm. You could kick him off social media. I saw how powerful that man was the first time he went on his raids and they kicked him off of Twitter.
Yeah,
and he stood on a desk at a college in Chicago.
Yes.
And he was on every screen within an hour. I was like, oh, well, that's that. He's not even saying anything important.
Nah, he's talking about blowing his cousin when he was 14.
Right.
Like,
Dude, they just had the one video of there was another video of him like holding a party hostage. Did you ever see that?
no.
He was like in someone's house party, like, I am the greatest ever. And it was like, why are we watching this?
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, the powers to be are the ones who decide what we see and what we don't see.
Yeah.
And it's that you actually make a really good point, because you try to post any violence, it doesn't get posted, but yet we've seen all these violent videos. I've never questioned that before.
Even words,
Yes,
we're not
words.
even like, I'll just type the word fat and it'll get taken down because
Right, you're gonna stop posting about me.
I'm sorry.
But that's
But yeah, I guess
but even with like the Israel and Palestine stuff, right? Because if you try to post anything about Palestine, you don't get to post it. But if you try to post something about Israel, it gets posted.
That
right?
is a prime example too. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Well,
But
I'm saying,
that's where the watermelon and
right.
stuff,
yeah.
That to me is also fascinating. Okay, because a prime example, when I did live in Brooklyn, and I would get up in the morning and smoke a joint and walk in the park before it wakes up, and it would be funny. I never forget coming across someone spray painted in the ground, "Stop arming Israel." Like, well, I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone who walks down this path here in Flatbush, Brooklyn,
Is arming Israel. Yeah, exactly.
and you clearly are physically here in Flatbush, Brooklyn. So what's happening over there does not directly affect you, but somehow you feel strongly enough to get out here and tell everybody else how you feel.
Right.
People that I don't know you don't know me,
Yeah.
but you saw something on the screen that made you, especially people who give up their Saturday.
Dude.
You know how hard it is to get up on a Saturday at 7 a.m. to be somewhere to protest?
You have to show everyone that you're a good person.
Right. But I mean, like, that's a serious dedication.
Yeah.
I'm a runner. Dude, you know how hard it is when I tell people, oh, yeah, I'm going to run a 5K on Saturday. Oh, what time? 7 a.m. I can't do that.
Yeah.
All right, but hey, 7 a.m., we're going to stand in front of the Tesla dealership and protest Elon. You goddamn right, I'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel that, like, running is better for you. Protesting Elon and damaging people's Tesla, that only going to land you in jail.
Yeah.
But you'll get up and do that.
Right.
I don't know how that works. That's what I'm saying. There's something, and it's in that internet that controls us the same way a flock of birds gets controlled by whatever those elements are. If you believe in God, you know God controls everything. So, hey, all right, I need these birds to go this way to make a wave that goes all the way to the other side and cause a storm, whatever the case may be.
Right.
But they're not acting under their own control.
Yeah. This is like we're in a Black Mirror episode right now, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The whole population, we are 100% influenced by everything we see on the internet.
It's the black box on Instagram.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
A lot of it is. I'm sure there's people that genuinely care about what is happening in these certain events, but a lot of people are just doing it because they want to seem like a good person, and that's kind of what turns people away.
Yeah, like when people do like the activism under the pretense of like, hey, look at me, I'm doing activism and you're not. I hate that.
Yeah.
Who is that for?
Yeah.
You know, like
Meanwhile, Greta Thunberg is on a boat going to Gaza. Like,
exactly.
Are you on
paying for that?
Are you on the boat? Yeah.
Who's paying for that?
Yeah, that's a big ass boat.
Right.
That's
like I can't even find my way into a room of celebrities now at 42, like with actual TV credits. This 15-year-old, you're telling me like she makes her way through the protest to the podium and she's well-spoken and well-prepared. Like, how?
Yeah.
I don't get it. But that's me. I really do not trust anything that I see, especially when it's like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand how show business works. And that's the thing. Show business is no longer on the screen. Show business is no longer in Hollywood. Show business is right outside. Everyone is in show business. They are creating. They get an audience who watches whatever they're putting out there, and they learn how to monetize it. And once people learn how to monetize it, there's no shame.
Yeah.
There's no shame. Like if you like it's funny, like the OnlyFans movement, right? there are women. Drea Di Matteo. Do you know who Drea Di Matteo is?
Of course, do I know
From
Drea.
The Sopranos?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know she's on OnlyFans, right?
I did not know that.
You didn't know she's on OnlyFans?
Okay. Yeah.
She started doing OnlyFans during the pandemic. And I'm not dogging her. Shout out to her. I understand her thing. She said it was a tragic experience. You know that, do you remember that building that blew up a couple years ago on 2nd Avenue in the Lower East Side? A bunch of people died in it. It was a whole apartment building, Lower East Side. But anyway, that was her apartment.
Oh, shit.
So she lost one house there.
Right.
And then she almost lost the house that she's living in, I think in Long Island or Staten Island during the pandemic, just from not working.
Okay.
So that's why she got on. She's like, I'm not going through that trauma of losing my house. I'll bear it all before I lose my house. Got it. Noble. Do what you got to do. Mm-hmm. She has her son edit her content.
Okay, I do know the story. Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Right.
That's fucking
But
weird.
Her argument is, look at the money. There's no shame once the money comes in. She's even said that. She'll tell her son, do you like that Montclair jacket? Huh? Then get the editing. Right? There's no shame.
Well, what is her content? Is she having sex with people?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, just to add, the son is 13 years old. Well, he's 14 now.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's like, if she's just like doing like sexy dances, and if there's like, sorry, I'm trying to
justify, which is fine. Listen, I'm all for the argument. I'll hear any argument.
Yeah.
But you know, even at 13, seeing your mom get sexy with your dad is uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
Let alone seeing her spice it up for randos on the internet.
Seeing your mom moan after a bite of food is like preferable, you know, like. So I get it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like hopefully none of you have experienced this, but like, yeah, if your mom, I get it. It's through the computer, so people don't feel like it's as devious as it is. Mm-hmm. But I know kids who grew up with their mom turning tricks in the house. Right. You know what I mean? Like, there's a knock on the door and a guy goes upstairs and then also has the audacity to give you a gift. Say, here you go. You know what I mean? And you're just like, you're ruined. And that's what that is for that kid.
Yeah.
He's 13 years old. Yeah. These guys are paying all of this money that is providing him all of the video games and all the stuff that he can, ask for. But it's like,
but that's kind of fucked. Like, she could hire another editor and still get him that jacket and still get him those video games. Right?
Now, I will play devil's advocate on this. Some families just know how to work together like that. They force each other. I mean, they force each other into family business. You've seen the Mexicans on the train?
Yeah.
Hey, you want something to eat tonight? You better sell this candy and this gum. You know what I mean? These kids are walking around, chicles.
Yeah, that is true. They do have a good family work ethic. But selling candy on the train is a lot different than watching your mom get fucked and then editing the videos.
I don't know. I feel like in the group therapy session, it all comes out.
It's all the same.
Hi, I'm Barry. I'm here because my mom made me sell candy on the train during the pandemic.
Hey.
Hi, Barry. Welcome. Hi, I'm Lucas. I was editing my mother's OnlyFans content.
I saw her eat cum straight from the source.
We were talking about Elon before. I guess we could talk about what's happening right now.
Oh yeah, the Gen Z's Drake versus Lamar happening right now in real life.
I know, right? Yeah. Isn't that wild? Which again, shout out to white people always stealing black culture. This beef thing really seems to get them going. Like, let's try it.
Yeah, seriously, this is the first like public beef between like political people here in the United States, or like at least on Twitter,
big enough that we paid attention to.
Big enough that we paid. Yes.
Don't forget, Trump comes from the hip hop world.
Does he?
Yeah.
Trump was a big part of hip hop. Yeah. All throughout the 90s, early 2000s. Trump. Everyone always referenced their wealth to Trump's wealth. Trump would make appearances in music videos and stuff like that. Like, yeah. And I say this all the time. Do not forget, Trump is a Queens dude at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
This is how Queens gets down. Mm-hmm. All right. This is how 50 Cent plays. This is how the Cuomos, you know what I mean? Like, this is just how Queens does it.
Right.
Run DMC, everybody, they were here for beef. What is the whole beef with the Bronx and the bridge is over? Queens, they just operate that way. I don't even think it's a racial thing. I think it's a Queens thing.
Yeah, Trump. Yeah, he's being super Queens right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's really digging into those roots. Sorry, what were you saying?
I forgot, but
Okay.
one of the big things was him saying that Trump was on the Epstein list.
Yeah, Trump. So now this did not come as a shock to me.
Right.
I don't think this was like the win Elon thought it was going to be.
It also, he looks dumb because you knew about him being on the list, yet you continued to work with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and then on top of that, like, so if he was on the list, he's a pedophile. If he was a pedophile, you let him hold your kid on live television, like.
But also, like, being on the list doesn't necessarily, like,
it just means you went there,
or not that you went there, that you were just on his plane that may or may not have gone to the island.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
And I mean, you know, everyone doesn't go to the island to indulge.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some people go to see what it is and go like, this is not
wow, that's crazy.
Even that it's just not for you. You guys, you ever seen Enter the Dragon? Remember Enter the Dragon?
Yeah.
Bruce Lee didn't go to the island for the horse. He went to go find out what Han was doing on the island. He participated in a karate tournament, but he was not at the party the night before, which I feel like that's also what was going on there. Like, you know what I mean? Like that party, you remember the party at the beginning of Enter the Dragon?
Yeah.
It's just all the belly dancers.
Yes,
And then they're like, all right, guys. Like, some guys are really partaking hard. I'm going back to my room.
I'm out of here. That's probably what happened when the plane landed on the island. Everybody was like, you know, Epstein's like, I got this awesome island. You got to check it out. And then they land. And they're like, whoa. Why is so many kids here?
I know.
Where's all the adults?
He's like, too late. You're on the list. Sorry.
Right.
Stephen Hawking is, you know, the second he rolled off the plane, he was like, I'm just going to roll right back.
Yeah. Which is also like it's funny to think that everybody ticks to that same thing. To be like, this is the one thing that we have that gets us all down here. Like, have you ever been to Jamaica?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jamaica has a part hedonism.
Okay.
It's just for swinging and all of that kind of stuff like that. It's not the whole island. You know what I mean? Like, it's just and some people are just going to Montego Bay.
Exactly. Yeah,
I needed to fly it and land somewhere. It's not a big island. It's not like there's a lot of airports.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a tricky situation. But,
yeah, man.
But the beef is, it's fun to watch because now he's shitting on like EVs. He's like, these stupid cars, nobody's gonna buy them anyway. He's just upset because I'm canceling the funding for the EVs. But then Trump filmed a freaking Tesla commercial on the White House lawn a month ago or 2 months ago.
That was a blowjob. We watched him give this guy a blowjob. Oh, your cars are the greatest. Right? And then I'm like, fuck you and your stupid cars. Like, that's insane.
He's like, what? But you acted like you liked it.
You told the world how great our vehicles were, and you almost passed a law to say, hey, stop damaging Teslas.
Yeah.
If you do that, you're going to be severely punished because he's my friend.
Yeah.
Now here it is a few months later, your cars are shit. Like, yeah, dude, that was a blowjob. It was not an act of love. It was an act of manipulation.
Oh, wow. The Trump blowy. That's
that's what they call it. The old Queen's Trump blowy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
I didn't know he was from Queens.
Yeah, he's from Queens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's a New York guy. That's why everybody was so shocked whenever he ran Republican. Because we're like, he's from New York, he's from Queens. There's no possible way he believes in all these crazy things that he's saying.
He used to be a Democrat.
Yeah.
He's whatever you need him to be. And that's another thing where my book Influencer taps into that. Mm-hmm. People who see the world at that level, they lose respect for the public. You ever watch Rick and Morty?
Oh yeah.
There's one episode where he has like a civilization that's just like powering his car battery.
Is it older?
Yeah, it's an older one.
Yeah,
but literally, and he plays with the planet. Like he comes in and when he comes off the spaceship and he's walking down the ramp, everyone gives him the finger.
Okay.
And he's like, don't worry, I taught them that means hello. Like, you know what I mean? I taught them that's a sign of praise.
Yeah.
So he's for it. And he comes in and he takes what he needs and then he leaves. And he needs to go do something with this piece, and it's like their son. So their world is shit for years on end while he's out dealing with something. And then when he comes back to get something else, of course, now the population is mad at him because their life has been shit, and he's been handling something else. And he literally comes off of the ramp and they're all boo, boo. And he walks through the crowd. He goes, boo all you want. Your opinions mean nothing to me. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Oh, wow.
Like I can manipulate you like that.
Yeah.
And I am not of your world. I come to your world to pull from resources. I don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I look at influencers like, anybody who will sell you crap. I mean, like, again, I'm not trying to dog Snoop Dogg, but if you notice, he will sell anything right now.
Oh, yeah.
He will put his face and brand to anything and go, yeah, Skechers, they the shit, you know, Hot Pockets, yeah, he don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He don't give a fuck about the people. He don't respect us no more.
He was pro-Trump, anti-Trump, and then he was just singing for Trump last year.
Exactly. Give me the money. I'll do whatever you want me to do because these people are stupid. They will buy any poison that you sell them. So there's no point in trying to help them.
Right. And you're saying Trump comes from that world where he doesn't
I think once you assimilate to a certain level, you stop caring. Like we watched Kanye go to that world.
Right.
Kanye used to care. He used to care about people.
Yeah.
He used to care about what people thought about him. Then he got to a level where he goes, oh yeah, I've watched you people come and go. Like I could care less.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see that documentary Genius?
The older one for the Netflix one,
yeah,
where the guy had followed him around for like years, yeah.
But there's a good prime example right there because that like the guy that was following him around was like his buddy, and then like halfway through his ascension, he just treats him like nothing. He doesn't even exist anymore. Yeah.
And I get it. You reach a level where people they only want stuff from you. They're only calling you when they need something. Like I am very uncomfortable with that now. I cannot take anything from my rich friends. Wow. I have trouble asking more successful comics that are friends of mine to open for them. I have trouble you know what I mean? It's just like it's something about once the success happens, I still want our friendship to be exactly what it was. Yeah. And I end up kind of alienating myself anyway because I'm like, I don't want to bug you. Go do your thing. You know what I mean? But I'll be here. I'm almost like, I'll be here when it all falls apart.
I'll still be your friend.
I'll call me when you're not famous anymore, dude, and we'll hang out again.
Yeah, I've had the same problem. It's like that fine line, right? Because like when your buddies make it big, you still want to be their buddy, but you also still want to kind of go with them on this journey, right? But it's so hard to ask them and be like, hey, can I open for you? And then
it's almost like I'd rather them just ask me.
But then that never happens.
Well, it's not even that it never happens. They get bombarded by people with no shame.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, while they're appreciative that their buddy didn't ask them to open, 19 other open micers who aren't qualified enthusiastically asked.
Yeah. And
now they have the job.
And they beat you to it.
Right.
Yeah. But then there's also the other side of that because, I work with this one comic. He's pretty big and he'll complain about people that he thought was his friend. And he'll be like, oh, man, every time this guy reaches out to me, he just wants to do spots.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought you guys were best buds. He's like, we were, but then he just always wants spots from me.
Yeah. That's the other thing, too. It's like, if the communication wasn't like a day-to-day thing beforehand, trying to make it day-to-day to prove that it's not that now also just feels disingenuous.
Yeah. It's hard to feel like what's genuine, what's not, and it's a weird position that we get put in whenever other people make it. It's a weird position that we get put in whenever like your buddy makes it big, and then we're in this weird position. Like
why your boy don't help you out? Like, no. He's fine. He's a great person. Trust me, that's a me thing. I didn't ask. I'm scared to ask.
It's an awkward position.
That was like an old Patrice O'Neal thing when Kevin Hart got big.
Oh, is it? Was it?
It was always on Opie and Anthony. He would always talk about how he just wasn't brought up with him after the fact.
But they were boys before, right?
Oh yeah. They were tight.
They were like best friend. Kevin had Patrice staying at his house and the whole thing, and then Kevin got too big. He was like, I don't even have your phone number anymore.
Yeah.
He calls him out on the show.
Which was funny. Shout out to the Boston guys for doing that. I also saw a clip of Bill Burr doing that to him. Kevin Hart had him on a show recently to like promote something that was coming out. And Kev was giving like this big introduction of like, oh man, my best friend. And then it's like fucking bro, I haven't heard some right in half. He goes, best friend. I haven't talked to you since 2002. I don't even think you have a. He's like, yeah, you had a kid, didn't you? He says, I had 2 kids. I guess I wasn't big enough to get a call or congratulations. You know what I mean on the first one. Sorry, I wasn't promoting a movie at the time. He really called this shit out. You know?
Yeah, no, it's good. You know, you gotta call him out.
But those people have to be like that. Like I'll never forget, and this I've never told this story before, but I'll never forget the first time I ever met Kevin Hart. And like I was a young open mic comic at Philadelphia at the Laugh House. This was one of Kev's last few runs actually still doing clubs.
Okay.
And he would still come and do the Laugh House, which he was bigger than,
right.
But he would just do it out of love because he started there. And the Laugh House had no green room. It was that kind of club. You just come up the steps. It was a second floor thing, no windows, and it was just a lobby, a bar lobby.
Right.
So they're turning over the room, and all of the comics are kind of trying to find their space in the lobby, waiting for the next show. And Kevin comes out, and he's walking right at me, and I go, "Hey, man, big fan, man. I'm a comic also, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Oh yeah, how's that working out for you? You know what I mean?" Good thing. And he just got, yeah, I gotta go. And it was like, it was such a smooth motion for him. He's like, "Yeah, how's that?" And he pulled the phone out. And I wasn't even aware of it until later when I heard other people talk about making that move. Like, oh, that's what was done to me. Like, the phone wasn't ringing. It was just like, how do I get this open micer out of my fucking face?
Wow,
you know
that's
what I mean?
great. So you're a Philly guy? You started in Philly? Dude, I started in Philly.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay.
But I started after the Laugh House already shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did all the Raven Lounge. I did all that shit stuff.
Yeah. My face was on the front of the Raven for a little while.
Oh, was
it?
And
they had those heads out around the door of like all of the people that helped build that place.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. I do. I think I remember seeing it. But
it wasn't long. It was there, and then I think during the pandemic for some reason it was like a lot of weird renovations happened.
Yes. Now I don't know. That place is a shithole now. It was always a shithole.
Yeah.
But it was
fun. It was our shithole.
Yeah, it was our shithole. But,
yeah, man.
We do have to do plugs.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, first of all, thanks so much for doing the show, man. I really appreciate it.
This was fun, man.
Yeah, I had a really good time with you. What do you got going on? You got anything cool coming up?
So check out my podcast, No Need for Apologies. We exist on the Gas Digital Network and on YouTube and anywhere you find podcasts. You know, find yourself there and get introduced at NNFA Podcast on all social media platforms. You can also follow me at I'm Dave Temple. Get into me on all those platforms, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Live shows coming up. So you said this comes out next week. So I'll be in Dewey Beach, Delaware. Big brag there. June 17th. June 27th, I will be in Chicago, Illinois at the Lincoln Lodge. And right now, I also need to plug October 18th, even though it's far out, Chandler, Arizona, all right, right outside of Phoenix. I need you guys to come out and show and prove.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, it's going to be awesome, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I love the road, man. I love, especially where I'm at now, because I'm funny enough to hold my own. I'm always a pleasant surprise. So all I'm doing is walking around and building fans, building followers. And people are like, where the hell have you been? And I'm like, hey, man, I've been here the whole time. And they're like, wow, okay. We're going to bring more people next time. And then everybody gets on the email list and all that good stuff.
I mean, that's how it works, you know? And that's how you build organic followers, like people that actually like care and want to see you every single week, as opposed to followers who are just like, oh, I saw this one clip, maybe I'll go see him. But you actually have fans.
Yeah. Working on that, man. So yeah, man, it's been a good time. I've been on the road for the past couple of weeks. It's been great, man.
Yeah.
I love traveling. I love getting out of the New York area after fighting so hard to get in.
I know. This is the plight of all comics. Like when I lived out in Philly, I was doing so much shit outside of, or I was coming into New York all the time to do stuff in New York. But now that I live in New York, I'm going outside of New York all the time.
Yeah.
I'm getting nothing in New York, and now, it's so dumb.
Yeah, that's the way it works. But yeah, check out any of my other projects. Keep an eye out for this other podcast, Ringleader, that should be out sometime this year. Check out my book if you're interested in what I was talking about, Influencer. Again, all of this stuff is in the links of any of my bios on my social media.
And this podcast, the one about the cash and grab,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's Ringleader.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that'll be out later. I have another Patreon thing that you guys, if you love me, you'll get into that. But that's obviously paid content. Suggested for you. You hear how I talk about the internet? Just send me. You guys became my algorithm.
We did that episode here.
Huh?
We did that episode here pretty much.
Yeah, we taught him about the guy on the subway getting fucked.
Yeah. Send me that. Yes, I'll react to that video. That's crazy.
But yeah, what do I got going on? I got some shows coming up. I'm with Mark Norman. That's tomorrow night. But then also we're in LIC at the Comb Over Comedy Show. There's 2 shows on June 12th in Long Island City. And then I got the monthly Holy Hand Grenade and a bunch of dates on the road. You can check it out on my Instagram and the podcast page. But Eric, what's going on with you, buddy?
More of this, but I have a YouTube series hopefully coming out soon called Jokes and Dreams. Episode 1, I don't know when it's coming out, but hopefully sometime soon.
Hopefully sometime soon. Fingers crossed. We're going to hold you to it.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks, Dave, so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for doing this, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Later.
All right, dude. Thanks so much, man.
Philly guy?
Huh?
I didn't know you were a Philly guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but you moved from Lancaster to Philly. Did you go there for college or for comedy?
No, so I went to Lancaster. I lived in Lancaster, but there was no scene in Lancaster, so I just kept going to Philly. So I was going to Philly 3 or 4 nights a week.
Now you spent last weekend in PA?